YouTube, what's going on, fellas, ladies? Your boy Jordan Tradman. We got another game like always. You know how we do it, fellas. It's my son. He's playing as the Green Bay Packers. He's going against the Giants. And I know I said I was going to be playing against as the Green Bay Packers in my next game, but I had noticed my son was getting games in, and he was playing as the Green Bay Packers. So I said, you can pretty much play for the both of us. So he got a couple of games in. I recorded all of them, so I'll be bringing all of them to you. Green Bay Packers, guys. I mean, a powerful team. I haven't played with them, but just by looking at what my son is able to do and what others have done, I kind of keep up with the Madden tournament scene, and it seems like a lot of the Madden tournament players use the Green Bay Packers as well. So they must be a pretty good team this year. And no matter that they didn't win the championship, and different things have kind of gone on. Some people's ratings have gone down and adjusted. They're still the most powerful team in the game. So. My son's playing against a guy that's the Giants. The Giants weren't that good at the beginning of the year, but they've kind of came back. And, to me, they're one of the top 5 teams in the game this year based off of, the ending here since the season has been over. Eli is, one of the top quarterbacks in the game. And then their wide receivers pretty much catch everything, and they're pretty fast. So, pretty much 2 of the top teams, I would say, in this portion of the year's game. So, my son, he got the fumble. I wanted to use this game kind of just to express some of the things I don't like about this year's game, or some things that I wish that they would change, because some people like some of the stuff, but to me there's a few things that I think that EA should have at least patched or changed. First thing, purple zones. Now, I don't know, I know that's not the politically correct name for them, so I know there's going to be some football scholars that may come in and say, oh, well, that purple zone is actually called this, but I'm going to call it a purple because when you show the play art, it's purple. So, to me, that was a nice pick right there. To me, the purple zones are supposed to cover that, 5 to 25, 30, feet range, and it doesn't cover that. It leaves that part of the field, or it only covers like maybe 10 yards. I didn't say feet. It covers 10 yards, and the rest of that pretty much gets left wide open. So a lot of times when people are running those post routes to the outside, the guy gets left wide open, so you get stuck. So I see a lot of people running the the Snugs bench, or bench switch. To me, I'm not saying that that's a cheap offense, but if that's the only thing that you run, of course it's going to be effective because there's not really a defense to stop that. Yeah, you can run man-to-man and hope that your guy jumps the route and gets an interception, but, I mean, come on, all you really do is keep running. Like, it looks like, boom, he just ran that play right there. To me, it's a terrible... I can't be mad at the player because you're going to use and do what you want to do that's going to help you win the game. But to me, I'm thinking to myself, EA, you're the only football game out. You're the only, NFL labeled football game that's available on the market because you have that, the contract, so to speak, and nobody else can have an NFL football game contract. And you can't even guard the purple area effectively. I mean, come on, that's bullcrap. Another thing I don't like about this game, to me, it just seems as if this game is all streaks and face throws. No offense, it works good if you know how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, it's hard to defend. You may have, some problems. Do I say that I don't face throw? That was a nice pick again. Of course I'm not saying I face throw. I mean, there's times when definitely I face throw. If your guy's open and you can fit it in there, throw it. It's a face throw. It works. But to me, I kind of rate face throwing in there with, the goal line off tackle of a few years ago, or the curls of a few years ago, or the rocket catch of a few years ago. Some of these things that were the baby blue routes that. Was it Madden 10, Madden 9, Madden 10, that, the baby blue routes didn't work. To me, purples and face throwing are like, another pick right there, are like those where you think to yourself that, hey, you know what, you would eventually get it right. You've noticed that this does not work in this year's game. put a patch to fix it. Of course, you put a patch to fix the QB spy, yet you don't fix the spies where you put a spy on the field and the guy just stands there. Your quarterback takes a jab up and steps back, and then what does the spy do? The spy runs in and tries to get him, and the spy ends up getting picked up by a blocker, and then the quarterback just tiptoes down for 10, 15 yards. I mean, another pick. This is pick galore if you haven't noticed. What's the use of having a spy if it's not going to work? And when you're playing against somebody that knows how to effectively use Michael Vick, you're putting a spy out there because you want it to work. Oh, that was a nice rocket right there. You're putting him out there because you think that that's an effective way to stop him. And if the game is not working the way it's supposed to, I mean, what do you do in that situation? I mean, to me, that's just. It takes the fun out of the game if some of these silly stuff that you would expect to work doesn't work. Now, again, to me, there's workarounds with everything. Of course, there's ways of stopping certain things, but you would expect that if you're going to run zone, it's going to work the way that it's programmed to work. But, in this year's Madden, it's not. What else I don't like? Curls, to me, you can do a curl from 20 feet out, and it's gonna work against man-to-man. I don't know why. I don't know how. You would think to yourself that your guy that's guarding the wide receiver is just going to jump the route because it's a 30-yard curl. But nope. The guy will just stand right behind the guy, let him catch it, and you're like, what in the world? And it's not like you can try to, there's sometimes you can try to user pick it and run around your guy. But sometimes your dude just stands there. Even if you're usering him, he'll just stand there, let him just run around. Right, you're just standing right in front of him, and the guy just catches it at 30 yards. Total nonsense. Fumbles this year. I don't know about you, but I love running the ball. I don't run the ball as much as I used to. Why? Because you know how a few years ago everything was a hit stick. So your number one way of tackling the guy was a hit stick. It wasn't a regular just tackle. You were programmed to use the right analog stick to hit stick just as your way of tackling. In this year's game, as the year progressed, it seems like now everybody's using the L1 or the L trigger there to strip. You get that strip animation, and to me, there's way too many fumbles this year. Some of the most sure-handed guys that you would never expect to fumble are just laying the ball up because everything is a fumble. So to me, you're actually safer just taking a fall. Fall down. If you're running and you see that there's guys coming, either get out of bounds or just fall down to the ground so you don't fumble. It may sound cheesy, it may sound stupid, but it works. You can't fumble when you just fall down to the ground. You picked up a first down. You picked up plenty of yards. You know how you want to get those few extra yards just to, right there by the end zone. Let me get it. I'm there. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're not there because you just fumbled it up. It's happened to all of us. It's happened to me way too many times. I can't stand it. Again, this is Madden. The only football game that's out and you can't get something that's genuine enough. That was a nice run right there. Nice little break. But you would expect more from the only football game that's out there. Now, guys, I can go into a whole video about things I like about Madden. I think of the older Maddens. I think the graphics have gotten so much better. I think that this game is definitely, a premier game. Some people are like, I remember the 2K NFL football game. Those games are trash. Let's just be serious. Yeah, there may have been some things that were more realistic, like the football and things like that, but let's just be fair. The game was trash. These games are fun, and, the graphics, some of the things that they can do. Yes, EA, to me, is definitely in the right direction, but I would just like to see these few things changed so that you can actually say, you know what, when I get the ball and it's more of a fair opportunity to win. A lot of guys run the top 100 and top 200s and all these top players, to me, run a lot of cheese stuff. Yeah, now don't get me wrong. There may be some of you guys out there that really know how to play and that play great. No offense to you. But again, somebody sent me a message saying, "Hey Trav, don't you want to be on the top 10 list and top this and top that?" Majority of the dudes that are up there are all cheesers, and they do nothing but glitch. And if they're losing a game, they'll do their little glitches so that they can get a win. And the other night I was blasting some dude, and I don't know what level he was, if he was on a level at all, but I'm sitting there blasting him, and he does some little glitch where the screen is just frozen there for, I mean, we were literally just sitting there for 10-15 minutes. And of course I'm sitting there pissed, like, okay, well, I just ended up turning my system off and I ended up getting a loss. So it's like, come on, is it that serious for you to get a win? To me, I don't think so. So just a little gripe of some things that I don't like about Madden. But tell me if you guys like the things that I just mentioned, or if you guys hate them just as much as I do. You guys see the score. My son killed this dude. Jordan Trav, man, we got another game. My son pulled it out. To the next one, I'll holler at you guys. Peace out.